How to find a Botox or filler expert. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Cronin from Eternal Youth Clinic. I've been a fully qualified medical doctor for over 35 years, and I spent 20 years of that working in aesthetic medicine with over 45,000 treatments and thousands of happy patients. I'm going to talk to you today about the best way to find an appropriately qualified Botox or filler expert to treat your face. Before I start, many people looking for this kind of information are also interested in ways of looking after their face and their skin. So I've produced a little PDF leaflet on 10 top tips to looking after your skin. This is freely available. I'll send it to you. All you have to do is click the link in the description down below and provide me with your email address, and I'll email it to you, the PDF. Just 10 simple ways, top 10 tips to look after your skin. Anyway, so who should be performing these treatments? Who is appropriately qualified to perform these treatments? Because unfortunately in the UK, the situation is completely unregulated and almost anybody can be doing these kinds of things, and it's a bit of a nightmare if you're a patient looking for appropriate treatment. So, as a medical doctor, of course, I believe you'd be better off looking to see another doctor. But at the very least, you need to look for an appropriately qualified healthcare professional who's regulated by one of the three main regulatory authorities. So either the General Medical Council or the General Dental Council or the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So please don't see anybody else. If they're not regulated by one of those three regulatory bodies, then I'm sorry, I don't believe they should be doing these kind of treatments. Botox and fillers are both very safe treatments, but the truth of the matter is they're not without risk, and you need to be able to handle things that go wrong if they do go wrong, and inappropriately qualified people don't have the expertise or the knowledge to handle those risks. Secondly, let me say price is really not a very good deciding factor. Plenty of people, when they're looking for somebody, really do look very closely at the price, and therefore they want the cheapest option. And the cheapest option is very rarely the best option. People are cheap for one of two reasons. Either they're basically less experienced or less qualified, and therefore they feel they need to be cheap in order to get people to come and see them. Or more importantly, they're using less stuff. I remember years ago, a patient came to see me, and we got through the whole consultation. We mentioned the price, and then they said the previous person they had it done by charged them whatever the price was, and the amount of money she suggested was less than the amount of money it costs me to buy the stuff. So either they're giving you fivers or they're not putting enough stuff in. So sometimes the reason they're cheap is, if you like, a valid reason. That's not really a good idea, and cheap is definitely not the best option. So what are the best ways to find a good Botox or filler practitioner? Well, personally, I always put at the top of the list personal recommendation. If you have a friend who's had treatments done before by somebody who is appropriately qualified, as we've already discussed, and they think they're nice people and they've done a good result in the past, then that's probably the best way to find somebody to look after you. But the only issue with that is quite a few of my patients basically are relatively shy in this issue, and therefore don't really want to tell people that they're having any treatment done. So, sometimes it's a bit hard to find somebody in your local circle who's actually having it done, or at least admitting to having it done. And therefore, what do you do if you haven't got any personal recommendations? Well, first and foremost, you make sure that they are appropriately regulated. But then what you need to do is make an appointment to see them and have a chat with them. And basically see how they come across to you. Ask them questions. Ask them about, how long they've been doing it, how many patients they've done. All those kinds of bits of information are very useful and helpful. But also just see how you feel with the person. See if you trust that person with your face, because at the end of the day, it is your face. It's an important thing for you to be getting the right decision on. As a final suggestion, personally, I'll list in the description down below the British College of Aesthetic Medicine website, and they have a list of all sorts of practitioners near you. So wherever you're based in the UK, they will have somewhere, you just type in your postcode, and they'll have somebody near you who I can recommend from that point of view. Okay, just to recap, basically, price definitely isn't a good reason for picking your practitioner. They really ought to be appropriately qualified, and that means as a minimum they should be on the General Medical Council or the General Dental Council or the Nursing and Midwifery Council regulation lists. So they should be registered and still registered, because some people lose their registration for various reasons. So they need to be on those lists. And then basically you need to have a chat with them, have a chat with somebody who's had treatment by them, make sure they're appropriately experienced, and yeah, the longer they've been doing it and the more patients they've been doing is relevant. If they only started last week, well, you might want to go and see somebody else. And then basically have a chat with them, make sure you're comfortable, and then give it a go and see how it goes. Okay? Now, before we go, I just want to mention again that top 10 tips to look after your skin. It's free. We don't have to pay anything for it. All you need to do is click the link in the bit below, give me your email address, and I will send it to you so that you don't have to wait for it. It comes very quickly. Also, if you like these kinds of videos, if you like my presentation, if you like the way it works, then please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. We are doing a lot more of these videos now. I started doing them a long time ago, but more recently I'm doing a lot more of these videos now, and therefore there'll be lots more information available, which hopefully help you look after your face and get the right kind of treatments that you want. Thank you.